So if you're a beginner and you're thinking about flipping houses, this video is about negotiating deals and how to close more deals. Let's get going. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Let's say we are contacting somebody for the first time. Probably the first thing I'm going to say is, hi, I'm Jason Moss. I represent a group of investors and we're looking to buy more houses in the area. Do you want to sell, or do you know anyone that might want to sell right now? And you start up a conversation. That's just one approach that I've used, that I've had great success with. And what you're trying to do is just get a conversation going. Once the conversation's going, you're going to kind of find out what the pain is. And this is the first point. You want to find the pain. And there's a reason they want to sell. Usually it comes down to a few different things. Usually they're looking for cash now, or debt relief. They can't make the monthly payments ongoing, or they need to make a move in their life, or there's some kind of life event going on. So you need to find that pain. What's the reason they do want to sell? The next question might be, well, why don't you just sell it with a realtor? Because that's where you're probably going to get your top dollar for your house. That's what I do when I sell my homes, and that's what most people know to do to get top dollar, is sell with a realtor. So why don't you do that? There's usually some reason why they don't do that. Maybe it's, oh, I don't want to pay the high fees, or, I don't trust realtors, or whatever the reason is. You're going to start to pinpoint what that pain point is in their life. Oh, I need money for my daughter's college, or I want to travel the world, so I just need a lump sum to buy an RV and get on down the road. Whatever that pain point is, the second point is we're going to speak to that pain. Usually what I do and what I've found great success with, and this may not work for everybody because you may not have the knowledge to do all these things just yet, but as you increase your knowledge and you increase your skill set, you'll be able to make multiple offers to that same person and let them pick whichever offer they want, and it won't really matter which one they pick because equally they're all good to you. So I usually make 3 different offers. One is going to be a low cash offer. The second option would be a wrap mortgage or an owner finance option. And the third option will probably be some variation on the first 2. Now, with seller financing and wraps, there's 1,000 different ways you can structure this, and I'll do some deep dive videos in the future, so make sure you like and subscribe and click that notification button so you get notified as I do future videos, so when that comes out, you'll be able to jump in and do a deep dive with me on those seller finance videos. But for now, we're specifically talking about how to negotiate a deal, and I want to give you an example of a deal that I did and how I structured it, how I made the negotiation, and what the result was. So if you watch till the end, you're not going to believe the return on investment that I got on this property. So this was a great little property in Arizona with a pool, so I knew it would have no problem selling. This property was not on the MLS, and it was a referral from another property owner that I had bought property from, and they were asking $115,000. So I looked at the property and I did my appraisal on it, and I had a good feeling that I could sell this property for around $140 because the market was hot and it had a pool. So if I were to buy that property at $115, knowing that I could only sell it for $140, that's pretty slim margins. So here's what I offered. My first offer was a cash offer of $90,000. The second option, I offered them $95,000 with the added advantage of paying off their first mortgage of $50,000 and then having them carry a second for the remaining balance for the next several years. So the third offer, I offered them $100,000, and I would take over their existing first mortgage of $50,000, and I would create a mortgage for the balance minus a $10,000 down payment. And they would carry that mortgage for the next several years. The added advantage to that is I didn't have to get a higher interest rate first hard money mortgage to come in. I could just assume their existing low rate mortgage. The fourth offer was for $110,000, where I would also assume their first mortgage of $50,000 and create a second mortgage for the balance, but this time I would give them $0 out of pocket. So I'm paying them more, but less comes out of my pocket. So for me, I don't care which of these offers they pick. Some are more money out of pocket, but the return's better on the back end. Some are less out of my pocket, and the return's not quite as good on the back end. So depending on which offer they pick is how I will exit the property. So if they take that first cash offer where I have to come in and pay off that $95,000 in one lump sum, my expenses are going to be higher because I got to go out and get money, and that money is going to cost me at a higher interest rate. And so I need to turn that money over quicker or get it into long-term debt fast. My exit strategy with that would be to flip the property or to quickly refinance it into a long-term mortgage. This one gets a little tricky. If they accept the second offer where I have to come out of pocket with $50,000, I'm not going to want to keep that $50,000 tied up into this deal for a long period of time at high interest rates. So I'm going to want to refinance that as quickly as possible. So I'm going to have them sign what's called a subordination agreement. And what that says is they're in second position now, but as soon as I pay off that first mortgage, theirs would normally move to first, but I want them to stay in second because I want to be able to refinance that first mortgage with a new first mortgage at a lower interest rate. So if they accept this offer, I'll probably want to hold the property for a while because I've got favorable financing. If they accept option 3, which would be to take over their mortgage and have them create a second mortgage. And I've only got $10,000 into the deal. I'm probably going to want to keep the property for a long time, possibly a rental or some kind of lease option. Option 4, if they're okay for me to take the property with 0% down and I can pay them a little bit more for that, I'm going to probably keep this property as long as possible. I'm going to negotiate as long a term as I can get because I'm going to make more and more money over time, and I'm into this property for $0. So depending on the offer they pick, that's going to determine my exit strategy for these properties. So to recap, we've found the pain and we've spoken to the pain. And in this particular scenario, they did not want to list the house with the realtor. They were very adamant about it. He had been in real estate his whole life, and he was a professional as well. So he did not want to list it with the realtor, but I did make it known that he should go out and get his own opinion of value, and he did that. So because I'm a real estate professional and an appraiser, I don't want anyone to feel like I'm taking advantage of them. So I always disclose in my contracts that they need to go out and get their own opinion of value, not based on anything that I said. And here's his response. It says, "We have spoken with several friends, and one is an appraiser, and they all think we're crazy for selling it to the price we quoted you. However, I do not want to list the house or rent it, and are willing to take a substantial loss. We are willing to work with you if you are willing to accept a $100,000 cash offer." I got the impression that their appraiser thought the property was worth between $120,000 and $130,000. So that's the offer that we agreed upon, $100,000 cash, and I would close in a couple weeks. Now, in my mind, I thought the property was worth about $140,000, but it did give me pause a little bit when another appraiser disagreed with me and thought it was a lower amount. But I re-examined the numbers and what was on the market, and I decided to go for it. We closed the property for $100,000. Within the first week, I made all the repairs, and all the house needed was some cool decking repaired and a cleaning. So I spent $700 on the repairs and listed it a week after I bought it for $159,000. And I got several offers, one of which was $159,000, and the condition that they would overpay on the appraisal by $5,000 if the appraisal came in low. That's the offer I went with, and as we got into the deal, the appraisal did in fact come in at $149,000, and so the contract said that they would pay $5,000 over the appraisal, so $154,000 was the final price, and after all expenses and paying $1,200 to my hard money guy for loaning me the money, I ended up making $43,000 on this property in 42 days. And some people may say, wow, you really took advantage of those people. You made $42,000 in just a few days. Well, you know what? I'm not interested in losing money, and there are a lot of times when unexpected things come up. You get into a property, you start making some rehabs, and all of a sudden you need all new electrical, or something strange happens, or foundation's wrong, or the roof's bad. Since the last crash, on all the deals that I've done, I've not lost money on a single deal. There was one property where I lost $1,000, but my partner gained $8,000, so I called that one a win. When it comes to risking my money or my partner's money on a property, I'm not interested in losing money, and so we're very conservative. If I would have went off that other appraiser's opinion of value, this deal could have turned out totally different. But if you buy a deal right in the beginning, a lot of things can go wrong, and it'll still work out in the end. Usually as you get into a deal, it gets smaller because repairs pop up. This one worked out fine, everything went smoothly, and we got a nice win. More typical deal, we're looking to make about 10%, so we would look to make around $15,000 on a property like this. One of my mentors says that if you're not losing money on every 10th deal, then you're probably not being aggressive enough, and I know that's probably true. Maybe I'm just not there yet. I could probably grow faster if I was a little more aggressive, but I just like to be conservative and not lose money. So I think our return on this is like 430% return. That's like a 4,400% return annualized out over the year. Most of the deals that we do are anywhere from 50% up to in the thousands of percents, and that's because we try to go into these properties with as little as possible, and if we do go in with more, we're going to want a bigger return. And there's several strategies that I do now that are even better, lower risk, not so time intensive as flipping houses. But all that stuff's going to have to be on another video. Please like and subscribe for future content, and I will see you on the next one.